Are our banks and financial institutions really safer than cryptocurrency platforms as our government is making it out to be? Wells Fargo Bank, one of the latest to fall late in 2022, fined $3.7 billion for illegal and illicit activities, unlawful repossession of vehicles, improper denial of mortgage modifications, illegally charged and surprise overdraft fees, and even freezing customers' accounts for periods of 2 weeks, which they continue to practice today. Let's discuss that in DeFi IoT. I want to start this off that I'm trying to make a case here showing that the typical fiat currency system of banking as we know it is just as corrupt as some of these cryptocurrency platforms that have fallen as of late. It's not any safer. It's the same. But the government's making it seem as if the cryptocurrency platforms were that much more dangerous, including here on this channel. My daughter started a different channel. I got to say the word, can't say the word. And it was terminated within the first couple of weeks, saying that it was harmful content because she wanted to explain to kids about cryptocurrencies. Now, there's a lot of poo-poo being said about cryptocurrencies and a lot of hoopla upholding our current financial institutions. Now, we know the Citibank and Bank of America have been fined since around 2000 till now in the billions of dollars. And just recently, Wells Fargo Bank was fined, and I'll go right here to the actual page itself, where we're going to go into the actual, where the CFPB, orders Wells Fargo to pay $3.7 billion in widespread mismanagement of auto loans, mortgages, and deposit accounts. We have recently experienced, I'm going to cover this up here, recently experienced the same thing for the second time in 1 month, where our account has been frozen, them stating that it was suspect of fraudulent activity. Now, I'm going to tell you how we resolve that. I'm sorry, how you're going to need to stand up for yourself to resolve these things and watch out for this. But I want to go into here a little bit and talk a little bit. I'm just going to read the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, the CFPB, had ordered in late December, this came out December 20th, 2022, Wells Fargo Bank to pay more than $2 billion in redress to consumers and, get this, $1.7 billion for civil penalty for legal violations. Paid to whom? Well, that most likely is going to go back to the actual Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. So why then, you ask the question, if they get fined $3.7 billion, that sounds like a lot of money, right? Well, to them, it's really not a lot of money. If you can look at what they're doing, and what do they do? What do banks traditionally do? I mean, there's an overnight lending market for banks. And banks can lend out overnight and make interest and so forth. And so when they take your and my account and they freeze it to actually investigate for fraudulent activity, for whatever the reason that is, they're capable of using that money to make interest on that money while you can't access it in your account. And this is a huge moneymaker. So let's look at this. Why then would the Consumer Financial Protection Board, slap them on the hand, fine them? $2 billion goes back to the consumers. There's over 16 million consumers that are apparently affected by this and this fraudulent claim. And yet 1.7 billion, almost half of what's going to go back to consumers, is going to go to this bureau. So the bureau makes money off it too, or the government makes money off it too, whoever's getting this going down the line. It's a big money-making scam. It's not any different, really, than what FTX was doing or any of these other platforms that have been showing recently to be corrupt. And my point being that it doesn't matter how many laws this administration, or any other administration for that matter, wants to try to apply to cryptocurrency. It's just all about control. It's taking that element of control away from you and I. And we need to be very careful of that, because a true decentralized cryptocurrency offers us that free market economy, such as Bitcoin does at this point. I just want to share with you here in closing what Wells Fargo was slapped for unlawfully repossessing vehicles and bungled borrower accounts. They would actually go and just repossess. You get up in the morning, paid up to date, and you go back outside, and your vehicles were gone. They were gone. People's cars were gone, and with no justification to it. Improperly deny mortgage modifications. During the last 7-year period, the bank improperly denied thousands of mortgage loan modifications, which in some cases led to Wells Fargo customers losing their homes to wrongful foreclosures. They just came and took your home. Whoops. The bank was aware of the problem for years, but ultimately didn't address the issue. And now they're trying to come out and address the issue. The CEO of Wells Fargo has come out and trying to say, hey, look, we found these things. We're going to better this. Like, we found these things. No, they got slapped with what happened. And it's really not a big slap. Like I said, they make more money than what they're paying out in fines. So keep that in mind. Illegally charged surprise overdraft fees. Well, that goes without explanation, I think. And then the last one here, unlawfully froze consumer accounts and misrepresented fee waivers. I'll read this directly. The bank froze more than 1 million consumer accounts based on a faulty automated filter determination that there may have been a fraudulent deposit. You see, that's exactly what it's on the other side here, so I won't show our name here for privacy purposes. Well, we had happened to us twice in the last 4 weeks. Now, I went down to the bank, and I met the manager of the bank, of that branch, and there was a bit of an attitude there. And I thought, okay, I can't really go in with an attitude. This person's going to shut down. This woman's going to shut down on me. So I tried to talk to her and see where she would go with it. Here's what she did. Oh, well, it must have been something with the other person's bank that caused us to show that alert, because we wouldn't do that. And so she says, let me call their bank. So she calls the bank and she talks. She says, oh, can we get some information on this check, blah, blah, blah. And the bank said, well, we can't give you any information what's in the account, but we can tell you that that check cleared. Oh, okay. Well, then I guess I can then unlock these funds in this account. And that's basically what happened. She goes, oh, okay. Well, that's all cleared now. So it's all, see, it must have been them. And so I'm going to unlock your funds. I said, well, how was it them if they told you it already cleared? You were holding my funds. She didn't want to go there. So she kind of spun it off on some other theme, and we kind of talked about that a little bit. And I thought, I'm not going to push it, because she's just going to defend her position. These people are struggling right now. This branch, they actually close some days because they don't have enough employees to even open the branch. So be aware of the financial institutions. Now, here's the other thing I want to warn you of. The World Economic Forum, 2 months ago in Davos, finished around the 20th of January, I'm sorry. They announced a series of things that were going to take place over the next 2 to 10 years. One of those is food crisis. The other is inflation. The other one is an actual collapse of our digital systems as we know it today. And one could question, how's that going to happen? You know, they're talking about, well, the things are increasing with Russia, the tensions with Russia and China, maybe an EMT. People are starting to speculate, right? What we do know is this. In 2019, they got together, the World Economic Forum, the WEF, and they planned out a actual outbreak of a pandemic outbreak of a COVID virus. Believe it or not, early 2019. And by the end of that year, what do we have? So what they're planning out now is this whole collapse of our digital systems, a blackout, if you will. And so what we should be careful of is recently the agency that governs and secures, the FDIC, that governs and secures our bank accounts. Remember, they don't have not even 2% of the funds to cover our insurance on our bank accounts, right? Or insure our bank accounts for it. But they talked about a bail-in, not a bailout from the government, but a bail-in. And that's law now. So if the banks collapse, if we have a blackout of all digital systems, like the internet goes out, our power grids go down, the banks will basically implode, and they will suck from our accounts that money, and they can legally do that now. So the banking system is not a safe place to have your money. And what they're trying to do is they're attacking crypto, making crypto out to be the bad guy, because that's our alternative. Now, crypto still is an alternative. Obviously, if we lose internet, obviously, if there's a complete collapse in the electrical grids, etc., then how do we get our cryptocurrency out? That's a problem too. That gives the argument back to gold and silver and precious metals, right? Especially gold and silver. As Robert Kiyosaki says, God's money. DeFi IoT, give us a thumbs up, please, so we can try to build up our channel. We're just kind of staying there. We want to get out there. We're going to build our new studio, but a few more months still. Get back to how we were in the beginning, but different details. We're going to do a couple of miners. We're going to talk about some hotspots we've been working with that we think, okay, those are reasonable. You're not great numbers, but I think if you're investing down the road, you're accumulating, you'll do fine. And we'll keep bringing you up to date on what's going on with MXC and helium and so forth once in a while, but I want to talk more things to keep you aware of what you can do now as well. Real things. So subscribe to this channel if you haven't got your subscription done yet, please. And we will see you soon in our next video.